It started with a cucumber. My wife, Jenny, was sunbathing in our backyard, minding her own business, when she suddenly hurled a cucumber into the sky and yelled, "Who the hell is spying on me?" I looked up from the chicken coop I was fixing and saw it a black drone. Sleek, silent, hovering barely 20 feet above our garden. Its lens was aimed right at her. And our dog Duke, barking like the thing had declared war. That drone wasn't just flying. It was trespassing, violating not just our space, but our dignity. I wiped the sweat off my brow, muttered loud enough for the drone's mic to hear, "You messed with the wrong ranch," and walked back to the shed with a purpose. See, our property sits just outside a gated community called Willow Grove Estates. They've got an HOA run by a woman named Beverly Langston. Beverly moved in 6 months ago, bringing her polished car, aggressive smile, and a suitcase full of HOA regulations. Within weeks, she'd replaced the old board with her own little clique retirees with nothing better to do and an ex-attorney who thought bylaws were gospel. She tried to recruit me into the HOA at one point. I declined, politely, but she didn't take it well. Ever since, she's been finding ways to make our lives miserable. Fines for imaginary violations. Complaints about our rooster crowing at dawn, which, last I checked, was what roosters do. And now, drones? That morning, the drone spooked my daughter's colt. The poor thing reared and slammed into the stable rail. My daughter, Ellie, came running into the house crying. That was it for me. When the drone zipped past our barn and started hovering near my workshop, I snapped. I headed inside, opened my old gun safe, and pulled out my 12-gauge. I'm not a trigger-happy guy. I served overseas. I know what weapons are capable of. But this wasn't about shooting a toy. It was about drawing a line. I stepped onto the porch, tracked the drone like a clay pigeon, took a breath, and pulled the trigger. Boom. The drone exploded in midair. Pieces rained down like confetti at a redneck wedding. One rotor landed in the goat pen. Another hit the bird bath. Jenny peeked out the window and said, "Well, that escalated beautifully." I boxed up the wreckage, scribbled a note on a piece of cardboard that said, "Found your surveillance toy. You might want to teach it some manners," and mailed it to Beverly's address. Larry, our mailman, gave me a wink. "No judgment," he said. That evening, just as the sun dipped over the hills, we heard a banshee screech from across the road. Beverly had opened the package. The next morning, she came storming onto our property like she was leading a charge at Gettysburg. Red blazer, sunglasses, manila envelope in hand. She tossed it at my boots and shouted, "You'll be hearing from my lawyer. You destroyed private property." I picked up the envelope, opened it slow. It was a letter filled with legal threats and buzzwords like airspace violation, intimidation of HOA officer, and even a $12,000 damages claim. I chuckled. "Beverly, if you think that drone was legal, you might want to fire whoever typed this nonsense." My wife caught the whole meltdown on camera. I called my old buddy Reggie. We served together. He's a property attorney now. Sent him everything, the footage, the package receipt, the letter. He replied in 5 minutes flat, "This is going to be fun." Meanwhile, Ellie had pulled the drone's memory card from the wreckage. We hadn't checked it yet, but with Beverly now trying to lawyer up, it felt like the right time. What we found shocked us. There were gigabytes of footage, not just of our ranch, but of other homes, children playing, families inside their kitchens, even a clip of Beverly herself in a bathrobe on her back porch, clearly unaware the drone was filming. Reggie said, "This isn't surveillance. It's illegal, especially if minors are involved." He backed up the footage and advised we post a short, edited clip on the neighborhood forum. No faces. Just enough to show the drone's invasive behavior. So I did. Captioned it. Did you consent to this? Because I sure didn't. The reaction was instant. Comments flooded in. Neighbors were furious. Some had noticed buzzing sounds over their roofs. Others thought they were being paranoid. Beverly tried to defend herself under the HOA account, claiming it was for security and compliance checks. Wrong move. People started quoting FAA regulations, posting screenshots, demanding proof of board approval. Within hours, she deleted her post. A few days later, I got wind of an emergency HOA meeting she was planning. Private. Invite only. But one of her own board members whose wife had been filmed doing yoga leaked it to me. Reggie and I showed up uninvited. Walked in with a laptop and a calm smile. Beverly froze mid-sentence. I said, "Since you're discussing me, I thought I'd bring some visuals." I played 3 clips. One of our ranch, one of kids on a trampoline, and one of Beverly herself. The room went silent. Then the board voted 7-1 to remove her as HOA president. I declined their offer to take her place. Instead, I nominated Ms. Ramirez, the sweet lady Beverly once fined for planting sunflowers. But Beverly wasn't done. Not even close. She started dropping fake HOA notices in our mailbox. Claimed our windmill was casting illegal shadows. Said our chicken coop was 2 inches too close to a fence line. So I installed motion sensors. Caught her sneaking around one night in all black, dropping envelopes like she was on a mission. Then came the big one. She reported us to the zoning office for an unauthorized structure. What she didn't realize was, her own glass pergola wasn't permitted. Reggie filed a formal complaint. A week later, county inspectors told her it had to be torn down or face daily fines. That evening, she showed up at my porch with a bottle of wine and an apology speech. Claimed she just wanted order. I told her, "You didn't want order. You wanted control. And you lost." She left without another word. Weeks later, I got a package. No return label. Inside, a brand new toy drone. With a sticky note, "Truce." I handed it to Duke. He buried it. And that, my friends, is how you shoot down tyranny one rotor at a time. What would you have done if a drone was spying on your family? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take on HOA power trips and how far is too far.